Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having a live battle from the 2003 format. On one side, we've got the Entei and Magcargo deck going up against the Scizor, Muck, and Furret deck on the other side, so we'll see which of these two decks can take the victory today. But before we begin, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and to my Twitter account, @Holland_Phantom, so you don't miss out on any new Pokemon TCG content. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the battle. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Magcargo side, we've got Slugma as the active Pokemon, and on the Scizor side, we've got Cleffa as the active Pokemon. The Scizor side is going first, putting Scizor on the bench, and then playing the Supporter Pokemon Fan Club, searching the deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon to put onto their bench. And the ones chosen is going to be Mantine and Grimer. The energy attachment is going to be a Rainbow Energy coming down to the active Cleffa, giving it 10 damage, and then it attacks with Eek, letting the player shuffle away their hand to draw 7 new cards from the deck. There's the 7 cards being drawn. Cleffa is really good in this format for drawing cards in the early turns of the game, and turn passes over to the Magcargo side. Let's see what they can do for their first turn. The supporter is going to be Oracle, letting the player search the deck for 2 cards. There's one. There's the second one, both of them face down, as they do not have to show their opponent what these cards are. And then they shuffle the deck and put those 2 chosen cards on top of the deck. And there's the next card being played, Bill, letting the player draw 2 cards. So essentially the 2 cards that they just chose from Oracle. And the player attaches a Fire Energy to Slugma and then benches Entei, activating its Pokemon power Howl, discarding the top 5 cards of the deck, and any Fire Energies discarded in this way get attached to their Fire Pokemon in any way that they want. Alright, so there we see 2 Fire Energies coming down into Slugma, meaning that it will be able to start attacking on the following turn. Oh, and also there's one more energy. Another Fire coming down onto the benched Entei. The Pokemon power also automatically ends the player's turn, so the turn passes over to the Scizor side. The player attaches a Water Energy to their Mantine, and now Grimer evolves into Muck, activating its Pokemon power Toxic Gas, shutting off all other Pokemon powers in play, so Entei will not be able to use its Pokemon power anymore. Next, the player activates Pokemon Trader, swapping out one of their Pokemon from the hand for another Mantine from the deck. This Mantine is going to be very useful in this matchup, as Mantine can one-hit KO anything on the Magcargo side, as all Fire Pokemon are weak to Water Pokemon. The turn ends with another Eek attack being declared, shuffling and drawing 7 new cards for the Scizor player. And now on the Magcargo side, there it is, yeah, Magcargo comes into play, evolving from the active Slugma. Oh, and the player activates Double Gust. Now both players choose one of their opponent's bench Pokemon to bring it to the active spot. So the new Pokemon are going to be Entei and Mantine. Entei retreats by paying the retreat cost, and Magcargo comes into the active spot. Now the player is going to get rid of their biggest rival, Mantine, meaning that this Mantine will not be able to take any KOs. Next, the player activates the supporter Copycat, shuffling their hand away and drawing 7 brand new cards, 1 for each card in the opponent's hand. Another Slugma comes down onto the bench, and it also gets its own Fire Energy. And there's the attack, Lava Flow. It does 40 damage, plus 20 more damage for every Fire Energy discarded. The player discarded 1 energy, so it hits for 60 damage, meaning that Mantine is KO'd right away, and Magcargo takes the first prize of the game. On the Scizor side, Cleffa comes up as the new active Pokemon once again. A Rainbow Energy comes down to the benched Mantine, and the player activates Pokemon Fan Club to put another Cleffa and a Sentret onto the bench. So now they have a full bench on their side. There's the third Eek attack declared, again shuffling and drawing 7 brand new cards. And it looks like the Scizor player is playing from behind so far, as they have not set up any attackers yet, while the Magcargo side has a really strong one in the active spot. Magcargo is going next. A Fire Energy comes down to the active Magcargo, so it's ready to start using its Lava Flow attack again. And yeah, there's the attack right away, Lava Flow. There's a coin flip, and it is heads. The player does have to flip a coin if it's attacking into a baby Pokemon. And if they got tails, the attack would have done nothing, but it did go through, meaning that Cleffa was automatically KO'd from the 40 damaging attack. Okay, on the Scizor side, Scizor finally comes into play. The player attaches a water energy into Mantine and brings it into the active spot, followed by the trainer, Professor Elm, to shuffle their hand away to draw 7 brand new cards. It has the exact same effect as Cleffa's Eek attack, but now the player will not be able to use any more trainer cards for the remainder of their turn. And there's the attack, Giant Wave, hitting for 40 damage, times 2 for weakness, meaning that Magcargo is finally knocked out, and Scizor takes their first prize. Unfortunately, Giant Wave cannot be used in consecutive turns, so Mantine cannot attack on the following turn. On the Magcargo side, another Slugma comes down. A second Fire Energy is attached to the active Slugma, and the player activates another Oracle, choosing another 2 cards from their deck to put on top of their deck. And let's see if they have any more bills to draw these 2 new cards. Yes, they do. The combination of Bill and Oracle means that the player can search out any 2 cards from their deck to add to their hand. It's a really good strategy. There's the attack, Magma Ring, hitting Mantine for 20 damage, and it will not be able to retreat on this turn. On the Scizor side, Sentret evolves into Furret, and a Metal Energy comes down onto the bench Scizor, and now the player activates Double Gust, bringing up the opponent's benched Slugma, but also their own Muck gets dragged into the active spot. A second Scyther comes down into the bench, and the player activates Copycat to shuffle their hand away. Let's see how many cards they're going to be drawing. That's 6 cards drawn off Copycat. Let's see if they have any way to get this Muck out of the active spot. Oh, and yes they do. Balloon Berry. Balloon Berry gives Muck a free retreat cost, meaning that Mantine can come back into the active spot, and because it was benched earlier in the turn, the effect on Giant Wave gets reset, meaning that it can attack once again, and that's a second KO taken by Mantine. And now both sides are tied at 4 prizes remaining each. Slugma comes back into the active spot. It's got its 3rd Fire Energy. Does the player have another Magcargo? Yes, they do! A second Magcargo comes down, and the supporter is going to be Town Volunteers looking at the discard pile, and then choosing a combination of 5 basic energy or Pokemon to shuffle back into the deck. And the ones chosen were Slugma, Magcargo, and 3 Fire Energies. And there's the attack, another Lava Flow, hitting for 40 damage, taking another KO, and it's 3 prizes taken by a Magcargo. Cleffa comes back into the active spot on the Scizor side. There's going to be another Pokemon trader swapping out a Furret from the hand for, let's take a look, probably another Scizor. Yeah, there's a second Scizor coming down. Scizor is normally the main attacker of this deck, though the player has been using Mantine, as Magcargo is weak to water Pokemon, and unfortunately Scizor is weak to fire Pokemon. Next, the player activates the supporter, Professor Oak's Research, to shuffle their hand away and draw 5 brand new cards. Let's see what they got this time. Okay, the next card is going to be a Warp Energy attached to the bench Scizor, and it looks like Cleffa is going to be retreating, promoting the Scizor. Here we see another trainer card, Professor Elm, to shuffle and draw 7 cards. Going through a lot of cards in their deck this turn. But like I said earlier, they cannot use any more trainer cards after using Professor Elm. Okay, and there's the attack. The attack is Snatch, bringing up the benched Entei, and then dealing 20 damage to it. So it looks like the player is trying to stall out the game by stranding this Entei in the active spot. But it does have a retreat cost of 1, so it is pretty easy to get out of the active spot. There we see the trainer Dual Ball. The player flips 2 coins. One of them is heads, meaning they can search their deck for 1 basic Pokemon to add to their hand. The one chosen is going to be another Slugma. They're not giving the Scizor player any time to breathe, just keeping a constant stream of attackers. Oh, but they didn't have any Fire Energy! They did have to pass the turn, and now on the Scizor side, the player activates Power Charge, searching the discard pile for 2 Rainbow Energies to shuffle back into the deck. So things are going pretty well for the Scizor side so far, as they did not take any damage from Magcargo. Here we see another Metal Energy coming down, and there's the attack, Heavy Metal. The player flips 2 coins, 1 for each metal energy. Oh, but they both came up tails, unfortunately. Otherwise, it would have done an extra 20 damage for each heads. Though it does it does still deal 30 damage. So Entei has got 50 damage on it so far. On the Magcargo side, oh, no cards were played at all. They still don't have any fire energy to retreat this Entei, so it will be getting knocked out this turn. On the Scizor side, a metal energy comes down onto the bench Scizor, and the player activates Professor Oak's Research to shuffle their hand and draw 5 new cards. Okay, they're going straight for the attack. Another heavy metal attack. They don't have to flip any coins, as it is guaranteed to knock out Entei. And Scizor takes their 3rd prize. Once again, both sides are tied, but Magcargo will be able to knock out this Scizor on this turn. The Magcargo side plays their own Professor Elm to shuffle their hand away and draw 7 cards. There's the cards coming down. Let's see if they're going to be playing any more Pokemon or any energies this turn. We see a Cleffa coming down onto their bench. A fire energy comes onto the active Magcargo, and there's the attack, Lava Flow, discarding the new fire energy and knocking out Scizor. Now Magcargo is down to 2 more prizes. They're really close to winning this game. On the Scizor side, Cleffa comes up as a new active Pokemon, and they activate another Professor Elm. They just need 1 more energy card for the bench Scizor to start attacking. Let's see if they got it. Yes, they did. It's a Rainbow Energy coming down onto the bench Scizor. It takes a 10 damage, but it will be able to start using its Snatch attack this turn. And there's the attack. Snatch, bringing the bench Slugma into the active spot and dealing 20 damage to it. And it's a really good spot for the Scizor player, as Slugma has no energy and it has a retreat cost of 2, meaning that it cannot be moved out of the active spot this turn. A fire energy comes down to the bench Magcargo. And, oh, that's all they can do. The turn passes. The player activates Town Volunteers, searching the discard pile for Mantine, Water Energy, another Water Energy, and another Mantine, so both Mantine and both Water Energy coming back into the deck, and a Scizor. The player really needs his Mantine in the deck to take 1-hit KOs against both Magcargo and Entei. Pokemon Trader is played next, swapping out a Grimer from the hand. So we'll probably be seeing one of the Mantines coming down. Yes, it's exactly what it is. Mantine comes down onto the bench. The active Scizor gets another Rainbow Energy. Takes another 10 damage from the energy. And there's the attack. Heavy Metal hitting for 30 damage and taking another KO. So now, once again, both sides are tied at 2 prizes remaining. On the Magcargo side, Cleffa comes up as a new active Pokemon. A 5th Fire Energy comes down into the Magcargo. Oh, and they're going to be playing Double Gust, opting not to knock out the active Scizor, but they're going to be targeting down the opponent's Muck. The player figures they can take a knockout against this Scizor whenever they want, but this Muck is pretty disruptive with its toxic gas. It was constantly shutting down the Entei's Pokemon power. And there's the attack, Lava Flow, discarding 2 fire energy to take a knockout against Muck. And now all Pokemon powers are finally back in play. So on the Scizor side, Furret can finally use its Poke Power, Scavenge. Scavenge shuffles away 2 of the players' cards from the hand to search the deck for any energy card, and the one chosen is going to be a Water Energy to come down onto the Mantine, followed by the supporter Copycat. There's some more cards being drawn for the Scizor side. And let's see. Oh, that's going to be it. No attacks come through. They're hoping to stall out the game with this Cleffa. Okay, the player activates another Professor Elm. Let's see what they get. Here we see 7 cards coming down for the Magcargo side. And there's the attack, Lava Flow. They have to flip a coin. And it is... oh, it's Tails! Nothing happens. So Cleffa is protected by its baby power. Furret activates its Poke Power Scavenger Hunt once again to search the deck for another Water Energy, meaning that Mantine will be able to take a one-hit KO against this Magcargo this turn. Cleffa retreats for free. Here comes Mantine. Another player activates Pokemon Fan Club, searching the deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon once again. Here we see another Grimer coming down. It looks like the player's trying to evolve into another Muck. Trying to shut down all the options that the Magcargo player might have. There's the attack, Giant Wave, taking a one-hit KO against Magcargo. Now both players are down to 1 prize remaining apiece. But the Magcargo player has no attackers in play. They activate the Supporter Oracle, searching the deck for 2 cards to put onto the top of the deck. But unfortunately, it might be too late, because they don't have any attacking Pokemon and no energy in play. Oh, but they do have an Entei! Entei activates its Pokemon Power Howl, looking at the top 5 cards of the deck, which I believe they used Oracle to get at least 2 Fire Energy into play. Yes, they did. 2 Fire Energy come down onto the onto the benched Entei, though it does end their turn. So the Scizor player has 1 more turn to win this game. Grimer evolves into Muck. Mantine is retreating, as like I said earlier, it cannot attack in consecutive turns with its Giant Wave attack, so Scizor comes up, and there's the attack, Heavy Metal. If they get heads, they win. Oh, but it's tails! Oh no, they went through all that just to fail at the end. Entei is going to be coming into the active spot. All it needs is just 1 more fire. Yeah, there's the Fire Energy. And there's the attack, Searing Flame, taking a one-hit KO against Scizor to take the final prize, and there's the handshake. Magcargo is your winner. So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.